Last time, we saw Vegeta grow even further as we entered the Buu Saga. But with the gap between him and Goku being so wide right now, is there any way for Goku to catch up? We'll cover all that and more in this third part of What If Vegeta and Trunks Were Trapped in the Time Chamber. Following the Buu Saga, of course we have a brief time period of peace. Goku still trains with Vegeta and spars with him a lot. Same goes for Android 16, who we're going to see more of later on. Anyways, Goku is trying his best to catch up. He even goes back to Gohan, who hasn't really been training much, but he thinks he can get Gohan back in shape. This is partially due to him wanting to see Gohan get as strong as possible, and partially because he wants another rival to fight, someone who's pretty equal to him in terms of power. This kinda works, but isn't his main focus. No matter what Goku does, he seemingly can't find a way to catch up to Vegeta. Eventually he does get Super Saiyan 3, but it's way after Vegeta got his, and of course, the form isn't perfect. Even Vegeta still has issues with it. But at least now they have the same types of forms, and he sorta is getting closer. But Vegeta still definitely has an edge, and it's a pretty big edge. But things will only get further exacerbated. Eventually we reach the point when Beerus awakens. Battle of Gods begins. Beerus arrives on Earth looking for a rival. Goku is actually training with King Kai at this point, and Beerus visits him first. But he isn't too impressed with Goku, and he also hears that there's another stronger Saiyan on Earth. One named Vegeta. Oh yeah, he's familiar with him. The former prince of the Saiyans. Hearing that he's the stronger Saiyan, and also the fact that it's Vegeta, Beerus definitely is more interested in him by now. So he goes to Earth and crashes Bulma's party. Things go fairly normally here, and Beerus isn't too agitated, especially because there's no Majin Buu around. So, lucky for Beerus, he gets to eat his pudding. Vegeta's a bit terrified to see Beerus here, and apparently Beerus is looking specifically for him. With his new power, he's definitely strong, but he doesn't know if it's going to be enough to take on Beerus. He's always known of Beerus, and Vegeta definitely isn't that powerful yet. But at Beerus' request, he fights him. Beerus is pretty happy to see that Vegeta is definitely stronger than Goku, by a pretty fair margin too. But it still isn't enough to be considered a Super Saiyan God, much less his rival. Vegeta knows nothing about a Super Saiyan God, so Beerus continues asking around, but the only one who would actually know anything about Saiyans would be Vegeta himself. Goku knows nothing, and surely none of the other hybrid Saiyans do either. But there is one person they could ask, Shenron. So they ask him about the Super Saiyan God, and learn about the ritual. Of course, Vegeta ends up being the subject of the ritual, at Beerus' request. The Super Saiyan God ritual is completed, and Vegeta now has a new transformation. So as you could probably tell by now, Battle of Gods is pretty normal, actually a little less hectic because there's not as much fighting. Beerus doesn't fight anyone else, and the biggest difference is that Vegeta becomes the Super Saiyan God and fights Beerus. And Beerus is really happy to see this. Vegeta is definitely worthy of being his rival. And he wants to see more of Vegeta, as well as Earth because there's some pretty great food here. So he'll be back eventually. And he wants Vegeta to work on that form more. Goku wants to catch up to Vegeta, and he could do the ritual himself, but he doesn't really want to do that. Surely there's going to be a way for him to close the gap, right? Unlike Vegeta, he actually has time to work on this and think about it. The ritual is always there as an option, but the more he trains, the more he realizes the gap is far too big. He even fights Vegeta at one point, and he can't sense Vegeta's ki. Vegeta is not only far beyond Goku now, but Goku can't even tell how far beyond him he is, which is kind of demotivating. But Goku continues training, and eventually decides, you know what, he might have to do the ritual just to get to that point. Of course, training on Earth isn't going to get him godly ki. Vegeta did train for Super Saiyan God originally, but that's when he was on Beerus' planet. Goku training with Vegeta might give him trace amounts of godly ki, but it's probably not going to be enough for him to become a Super Saiyan God just yet. So, reluctantly, he decides to do the ritual just to see if he has any godly ki within him. But by the time he decides to do this, Vegeta's gone. Beerus has already come back to Earth, snatched him up, and now he's training there under Whis. The worst part is, Goku didn't even get a chance to see Beerus. He wanted to at least impress Beerus and see if he could train underneath him, or rather Whis. Again, Goku never really interacted with them much besides fighting Beerus that one time. They're not too focused on him. And Goku wants to change that. He wants Beerus to be focused on him. Vegeta's been so far ahead for so long. Vegeta is working hard and definitely deserves it, but Goku really needs to pick things up if he wants to keep up. Because as it is now, he might not be able to catch up to Vegeta. So, while Vegeta's gone on Beerus' planet, Goku continues working on Super Saiyan 3, seeing if he could do anything with that. He even goes back to King Kai again, and he has a new idea. Well, if Vegeta's training under one of the gods, he should probably do that too. He wants to see the Supreme Kai again. King Kai says that's a pretty huge request, he can't just arrange that. But reluctantly he's able to get Goku in contact with Shin, and Shin is more than happy to train Goku. I mean, he did help save Earth by defeating Majin Buu after all. Kibito's not too fond about having a mortal here on this planet, but he does kind of lighten up a bit because, again, he helped defeat Majin Buu, so they welcome it. This guy also did take care of Frieza after all. So Goku begins spending time training on the sacred world of Kais. At some point, Beerus does return to Earth, a few months later. Vegeta comes back too to see Bulma, and basically gets some rest time because he's been constantly training. And once they're back on Earth, Goku immediately returns too. This is his chance to impress Beerus. Beerus picks up some food here, and Goku immediately asks Beerus to fight. Vegeta thinks he's being kind of an idiot, but you know what? Beerus welcomes it. He's having a good time here on Earth, and while this Saiyan is a bit rude, I mean, he's used to it. He's been with Vegeta for a bit. Plus, while Goku wasn't on Vegeta's level before, he still was pretty strong by mortal standards. And besides, he knows what Goku's been up to. As for how strong Goku is, they don't know for sure. They will need Goku to actually fight Beerus for that, but they do know he has been training, employing some alternative methods. Goku initially wanted to do the Super Saiyan God ritual, seeing no other way to actually obtain the form, because he thought that was it. He just needed to do the ritual for that. He tried to brute force it, but couldn't. Of course, if he did end up going to Beerus' planet, he could have actually unlocked it through training. But as far as Goku knows, the only thing he can do to actually get the form is doing the ritual for it, which he doesn't necessarily like, but he doesn't really have a choice. Now with Vegeta here, he actually can do the ritual, but he doesn't really need it anymore. Well, maybe he does, but he's going to figure out a new way to evolve. He found something new through an alternate ritual. Goku then powers up and shows off a brand new form. It doesn't really look too different from his base. It's just his base with his hair standing up. But he definitely is far more powerful than before. This is way beyond Super Saiyan 3. It's his ultimate form, awakened after training under Shin and breaking the Z-Sword, which freed Elder Kai, and since Elder Kai saw Goku was trying to get more power, he decided to unlock it with a ritual. Out of curiosity and trying to find any other way to grow stronger, he did that. And besides, this power is his own potential being drawn out. He still can grow stronger with this. He could work to make this his own, which he's proud about. He fights Beerus in this form, and he's far beyond where he was before. He's not on Vegeta's level just yet, but from what Beerus can tell, the Goku that he's fighting right now is stronger than the Vegeta he fought before when he first came to Earth. By a pretty big margin too. Had Vegeta never gotten Super Saiyan God, Goku would have been above him by now. Which surprises Vegeta to hear. Did Kakarot actually find a way to catch up? He's not mad about it or anything. He's kind of happy actually. This will push him even further too. But he's not going to give up the number 1 spot that easily. Kakarot's going to have to work a lot harder if he wants to get that spot from Vegeta. And Goku's of course ready to put in the work. So, being impressed with Goku's power, and with Goku also offering some food to Beerus, Beerus ends up taking him to his planet. The thing is, Vegeta's been training pretty consistently here for a decent amount of time. He's grown beyond Super Saiyan God by this point, which Goku soon comes to learn. And of course, as he trains with Vegeta, he is able to actually unlock God Ki through training. Looks like things worked out for him in the end. And now, Vegeta's getting a bit concerned because he still is pretty far ahead of Goku. He even has Blue by now. But Goku's ultimate form works very differently than anything they've seen before. Vegeta's not interested in doing the ritual himself, and honestly, Goku sees it as a really big shortcut. He knows that's what he had to do to get here. But Vegeta comes to see how potent it really is. He needs to step his game up, or else Kakarot's going to catch up to him and surpass him. After all this time, he'll finally get ahead once more. Eventually, Frieza's revived on Earth. And at first, not much changes with him arriving. Gohan by this point is actually stronger than he was in regular Resurrection F, mainly because that Gohan didn't train. This Gohan doesn't train too consistently, but he hasn't grown weaker, so for that reason, he holds his own a little better here. Of course, he's just Super Saiyan 2 by now. He's not really going to do anything against Frieza, but he can at least hold off the army and delay Frieza a bit, which is fine. That's all they needed. Gohan's power is more than enough for Goku to locate and teleport to with instant transmission. It's a good thing he was powered up. Goku and Vegeta arrive on Earth, ready to fight Frieza. Or at least, Vegeta is. He's the one that's going to take this battle. They already did rock, paper, scissors, and Vegeta won, which kind of bums Goku out because there's no one to fight. Goku's friends already defeated all of Frieza's army, and it's just Frieza by now. But Vegeta begins fighting Frieza, first fighting against his final form and base. Then Frieza powers up to show off his new golden form, which isn't really too impressive to Vegeta. He didn't expect it, but it's not impressive. Yeah, he's strong, but Vegeta is so far beyond where he should be at this point that it's not really a threat to him. But still, this will be a nice opportunity to test out Super Saiyan Blue, and of course, he's going to enjoy killing Frieza. Vegeta never drops his guard and never gets lasered like Goku did. He is purely focused on killing Frieza, and because of that, his guard is always up. He's locked in. Frieza never gets to destroy Earth either, and once he sees the battle's going nowhere, he finishes it, taking great pride in finishing Frieza off. He kinda laughs about it to Frieza too. First, his son killed him, and now, he killed him, sending Frieza to hell once more. It does make Vegeta wonder what Trunks is up to. Hopefully he's doing well in the future. Goku still does have a ways to go. He went to Beerus' planet a bit later, and he unlocked Super Saiyan God by now. And thanks to the unique situation of him having Ultimate, that got absorbed into his Ultimate form, which draws out his constant latent power. Actually, Goku thinks this form might be fitting for Gohan. Unlike Goku, Gohan wouldn't really have a gripe about taking a shortcut like this. I mean, he's pretty short on time. So, he suggests to Gohan, just to keep his power up. This could be a good option for him, especially with all his latent potential. And while Gohan isn't really fighting much right now, after seeing what happened with Frieza, he thinks it might be worthwhile to get stronger to defend those around him, which eventually leads Gohan to getting the ultimate ritual done on him as well. Vegeta's not doing it for himself. He doesn't see a need to right now, and with his regular hard work and such, he has grown much stronger. Still ahead of Goku, even though Goku is catching up. The gap is closing day by day. Eventually the Universe 6 tournament rolls around, and I don't think I need to tell you that the results are going to be pretty much the same here. The only difference is Boo isn't going to be on the team, and maybe it'll be Gohan as the other option, reworking his schedule to join the tournament. This will be the first showcase for his ultimate form. He ends up fighting first, figuring out a way to defeat Potamo, then fighting Frost and seemingly winning until he gets poisoned. Jaco eventually notices the needle, and Frost gets disqualified, but Goku says to keep him in the ring. Gohan's reinstated and will enter as the last fighter, but Goku fights against Frost next and defeats him pretty easily. Then Goku's up against Vegeta, figuring out a way to defeat him and winning that match. This leads to Goku next fighting Kappa. I feel like he would try to teach Kappa Super Saiyan just like Vegeta did. I don't know if he'd be as effective with it, but I'm sure he would find a way. I mean, he did with Gohan after all. He probably wouldn't be using the same method as Vegeta though, and that leads us to the final matchup, Goku vs. Hit. Vegeta got all the glory in the fight against Frieza and got to enjoy that battle. So it's only fitting that this time, Goku actually gets to do something fun. He figures out Hit's time skip, pretty quickly in fact, but it seems like he doesn't have enough raw power to fight Hit right now, at least in his current stage. By now he actually has unlocked Super Saiyan Blue, especially after training in the time chamber beforehand. He was surprised Vegeta wanted to go back in, but this time it was much safer, and if he actually did get trapped in there once more, then they said he'd get them out pretty quickly. But they actually went into the time chamber to train for a few years beforehand. So by now Goku has Super Saiyan Blue, and that power is drawn out with Ultimate. He figured out how to stack Kaioken on top of it, but that doesn't even matter at this point. Just by using Ultimate, he's able to defeat Hit, and Vegeta comes to see that once more, Goku has finally taken over, somehow surpassing him again. He's really going to have to kick it up a notch. For pretty much the entire past decade, Vegeta has been significantly above Goku, but the tables have turned, and Vegeta's going to turn them back. And of course, there was someone watching the entire tournament. Zamasu saw how it played out, which leads him to targeting Trunks' timeline. But of course, this isn't the same Trunks that we saw in the main story. A lot is different about him, and that's probably going to cause trouble for Goku Black. But we'll see that in the next part. This is where we'll leave off for now. What do you guys think about this part, and what's going to happen next time? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help with the channel and shows me you want to see more like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.